When it comes to the history of gaming, few systems have a library as deep and rich as that of the Sony PlayStation 2. The most popular video game console of all time is certainly up there with the all-time greats, with plenty of high-quality titles available for us to enjoy. While most of us have played the San Andreases of the world and the Final Fantasy X, did you know that this platform has a plethora of amazing experiences that could only be enjoyed in Japan? So, with that said, join me today as I am late decade and these are the excellent PS2 games you couldn't play. Namco x Capcom is a tactical role-playing game developed by Monolith Soft and published by Namco for the PlayStation 2 and released in Japan in 2005. The game is a crossover featuring characters from various Namco and Capcom video game franchises, including Tekken, Street Fighter, Mega Man, Soul Calibur, and many others. The story of Namco x Capcom revolves around a dimensional distortion that brings characters from different universes together. Players control a group of characters led by two original protagonists, Reiji Arisu and Zhao Mu, as they attempt to unravel the mystery behind the dimensional convergence. The gameplay combines tactical RPG elements with action sequences where players input commands to execute attacks during battles. Namco x Capcom was well received for its unique crossover concept, engaging combat system, and the nostalgic appeal of seeing characters from different game series interacting with each other. However, the game was only officially released in Japan and an English version was never made available. Several outlets in the past have cited that both its large amount of text and a lack of worldwide recognition are areas responsible for this game never seeing a wider release. Still, if you want to experience this one in English, fortunately, a fan translation is now available. Selling less than 10,000 units despite being critically well received, Indonesia is a largely forgotten adventure game that was available for the PS2, developed by Vanpool and published by Enix. In this obscurity, you step into the shoes of a 5th grade boy who finds himself unexpectedly transported to the enchanting realm of Indonesia, a fictional island. To make his way back home, our young protagonist embarks on a unique journey of communication with the island's 50 sealed gods. The key to unlocking this connection lies in acquiring special abilities known as emo powers, which tap into both his own emotions and those of the island's inhabitants. As players navigate through the game, they'll experience the ebb and flow of day and night cycles, coupled with the passing of the days of the week. However, there's a captivating twist. Indonesia is trapped in a 10-day time loop. In this Groundhog Day-like adventure, the game's intriguing setting adds an extra layer of charm and discovery as our young hero navigates through the captivating landscapes and interacts with the vibrant characters populating this mystical island. Being an early release for the platform, which first surfaced as early as May 2001, maybe now 23 years after its release, we should consider giving Indonesia the attention it deserves. Bust-a-Move 댄s서밋 2001 is a rhythm and dancing video game that was released for the PlayStation 2 in 2000, not 2001 despite the name of the title. The game was developed by Metro Corporation and published by Enix. It is part of the Bust-a-Move series, perhaps more commonly known as Bust-a-Groove in the West. The game features a diverse cast of characters, each with their own unique dance styles and music. Players can choose a character and compete against others in dance battles. The gameplay involves hitting specific button combinations in time with the music to perform dance moves and score points. The better the player performs, the higher their score will be. Bust-a-Move 댄s서밋 2001 received positive reviews for its fun and engaging gameplay, catchy music, and colourful graphics. The game's soundtrack includes a mix of genres catering to various musical tastes. While the game may not be as well known as some other dance rhythm games, it holds a special place in the hearts of those who enjoy its unique characters and energetic gameplay. Shadow Tower Abyss was created and released by From Software for the PlayStation 2. This 2003 title acts as a sequel to Shadow Tower, incorporating various genre and mechanical aspects, also present in Demon's Souls and the King's Field series. This first-person role-playing video game set in a tower environment involves players navigating through catacombs, caverns, and walkways. The game includes diverse regions like subterranean forests, hellish caverns, waterfalls and temple-like chambers. Players encounter friendly and aggressive characters collecting keys, armour and up to 500 weapons. The game allows wielding 2 weapons simultaneously, enabling seamless switching between them. The game world is inhabited by 68 monsters and non-player characters with distinct schedules and activities. Players engage in battles, able to sever body segments and decapitate creatures. Character development relies on a statistics-oriented system where the protagonist grows stronger by defeating tower inhabitants and harvesting their souls. For this well-received game, the Japanese release of Shadow Tower Abyss proceeded as planned, but the English version faced cancellation during the localization phase. The cancellation was attributed to concerns about projected sales outside of Japan, as the game had only sold 12,908 units in its initial week of release in Japan. The publishers also expressed apprehensions about the game's visual quality compared to contemporary titles in the role-playing and first-person genres. However, an English fan translation has now been available for this game since 2011. vib-ripple is a cult classic rhythm game that saw a worldwide release on the PS1. However, a title that is even more obscure is its Japan-only follow-up for the PS2. In vib-ripple, created in 2004 by Nana Onsha, you get to guide Vibri, this adorable little rabbit with a simple vector shape who's been carried over from the earlier vib-ribbon game. The twist in this new installment is that you bounce around on various photos, turning each one into your personal trampoline. Your mission is to hop on these photos to release 2D items before the time runs out. The left side of the screen gives you a handy clue about which part of the photo you should jump on, and the icon's colour, shape and size hint at the specific combo on the photo. Enemies that appear on screen hinder your process, but sensory feedback through the PS2's DualShock controller can help keep you on track. If Vibri accidentally collides with foes, it's de-evolution time. From rabbit to frog to worm, and then it's game over. But skilled players can level up Vibri into Super Vibri, giving your rabbit's pal many advantages over his adversaries. With the added ability to craft your own stages by uploading your photos from a digital camera or cell phone through the PlayStation 2's USB port, vib-ripple was a technologically advanced, innovative title, which, when we consider that it's usually only Japan who get the coolest, most over-the-top gimmick games, then you realise it's not shocking at all that only the Japanese would get to play this one. Mushihimesama, also known as Bug Princess in English, is a series of bullet hell shoot-'em-up video games created by the Japanese game developer Cvit. The series is known for its challenging gameplay, intricate bullet patterns, and vibrant insect-themed graphics. The games are part of the danmaku or bullet curtain subgenre of shoot-'em-ups, where players navigate intricate patterns of enemy bullets. The story revolves around a princess named Reko, who rides a giant beetle and battles against insect-themed enemies in a fantastical world. The game features multiple difficulty levels, including a unique mode called Ultra, which is even more challenging than the standard difficulty settings. The success of the first Mushihimesama game led to the development of several sequels and spin-offs. Players who enjoy intense shoot-'em-up experiences often appreciate the series for its intricate bullet patterns, fast-paced action, and memorable boss battles. Front Mission 5 Scars of the War is a tactical role-playing game developed and published by Square Enix for the PlayStation 2. It is the 5th main entry in the Front Mission series, which is known for its mecha-themed gameplay and engaging storyline. The game was released in Japan in 2005 and was never officially localized to other regions, which has limited its availability to English-speaking audiences. The story of Front Mission 5 is set in 2070 and revolves around the events of the Second Huffman conflict. Players follow 2 main characters, Walter Feng and Daryl Trawball, as they become involved in a complex and politically charged war. The narrative explores themes of war, politics, and the consequences of military conflicts. The game features a branching storyline with multiple paths and endings, adding replayability to the experience. The gameplay follows the traditional Front Mission structure, combining turn-based tactical battles with a robust customization system for the game's mechs, known as Wanzers. The interconnected web of characters and organisation adds depth to the story, and the choices players can make influence the course of the narrative. Despite being critically acclaimed in Japan for its engaging story, deep gameplay mechanics, and strong production values, Front Mission 5 Scars of the War has remained relatively obscure in the West due to its limited release. However, just like with many other games featured today, fortunately dedicated fans have created fan translations to make the game accessible to English-speaking audiences. Ibara is another shoot-'em-up arcade game developed by Cave. Released in 2006, the game is known for its challenging gameplay, complex bullet patterns, and vibrant, detailed graphics. The game's name, Ibara, translates to thorn in Japanese, which may symbolise the challenging and prickly nature of the game's bullet patterns. In Ibara, players control a ship and navigate through various levels filled with enemies and bullets. The game is set in a steampunk-inspired world, and players can choose from different characters, each with its unique weapons and abilities. As players progress through the levels, they face increasingly difficult enemies and bosses, each with their own attack patterns. Ibara received positive reviews for its challenging gameplay, impressive visuals, and engaging mechanics, making it a popular choice among fans of the shoot-'em-up genre. Kuma Uta is a Japanese visual novel game released for the PlayStation 2. The game was developed by Leaf and published by Aqua Plus. It was first released in Japan on the 26th of January 2006. The title Kuma Uta translates to Bear Song in English. The game features a unique premise where the characters are anthropomorphic bears. It combines elements of visual novels, dating simulations, and adventure games. In the game, players take on the role of a male protagonist who interacts with various bear characters in a fictional world. The story involves building relationships with these bear characters, and the choices made by the player influence the narrative and lead to different endings. As with many visual novels, the gameplay primarily consists of reading text, making decisions at key points in the story, and exploring different story paths based on those decisions. The game's art style, music, and storytelling are significant aspects that contribute to its overall appeal. Looking at the game, it is an incredibly Japanese concept, with these types of games often catering to a specific audience interested in weird anthropomorphic characters. It's not that difficult to see why this one was considered too odd to be released outside of Japan. Cave, the kings of Japan-only PS2 bullet hell shoot-'em-ups, would also release Doon Pache Dau in 2002, the fourth installment of the Doon Pache series, with us spotlighting a previous Sega Saturn entry from this franchise previously on this channel. The gameplay of Doon Pache Dau follows the traditional conventions of the shoot-'em-up genre, where players control a ship, maneuver through waves of enemies, and face challenging bosses at the end of each stage. What sets Doon Pache Dau apart is its intense bullet patterns and the scoring system, which encourages players to perform precise and strategic movements to maximize their score. The story revolves around a conflict between a group of powerful fighters known as the Doon Pache Squadron and an organization called the Hachiyu, led by the mysterious figure named Hibachi. The game features multiple playable characters, each with their own unique ship and shot patterns. Doon Pache Dau has gained a reputation for its quality and fast-paced action. It has been very well received by fans of the shoot-'em-up genre and remains a classic in the shoot-'em-up community. Fist of the North Star is a 2D competitive fighting game developed by Arc System Works and produced by Sega, based on the manga series of the same name. Originally released in 2005 as an arcade game for the Atomiswave hardware, it later saw a PlayStation 2 port in 2007 titled Hokuto no Ken Shinpan no Sososei Kengo Retsuden, exclusively in Japan. The PS2 version included a bonus DVD featuring a unique training mode, or starter's guide, and a documentary covering the history of previous Hokuto no Ken titles for home consoles. The game introduces a unique feature called the 7 stars of the Hokuto, represented by a gauge below each character's life bar. Special moves and commands can remove stars from this gauge. When all stars are depleted, a Death Star lights up, allowing the opponents to execute a fatal KO attack, instantly defeating the other player irrespective of their life bar. Players regain stars at the start start of each round, and opponents regain 1 star when unsuccessfully attempting a fatal KO. Boost displayed in the game's HUD enables players to cancel moves and traverse the screen quickly. The aura gauge used for super moves and guard cancels has 2 stocks and enhances the game's strategic depth. Fist of the North Star stands out for its notable feature where every character can perform an infinite combo, often referred to as dribble combos, reassembling a basketball game. All in all, this is an intriguing fighting game that the West has been deprived of. Ace, Another Century's Episode, is a mecha-based video game developed by From Software for the PlayStation 2. The game features a crossover of various mecha anime series, allowing players to pilot iconic mechs from different anime franchises and engage in intense battles. The game brings together mechs from popular anime series such as Mobile Suit Gundam, the Super Dimension Fortress Macross, and Neon Genesis Evangelion, among others. Players could choose their favourite mechs and engage in fast-paced combat across different missions and scenarios. The Ace series has gained a following among mecha anime and gaming enthusiasts for its unique crossover concept and exciting gameplay. Code Age Commanders Tsugu Mono Tsugarero Mono is an action role-playing game developed and published by Square Enix exclusively for the PlayStation 2 in Japan on the 13th of October 2005. The game's narrative unfolds in a fictional intraglobular world facing imminent destruction, inhabited by mysterious warped creatures and embroiled in conflicts between different factions. Code Age Commanders features 4 main protagonists, each providing a unique perspective on the struggles within this intricate world. The concept for Code Age originated in 2002 as part of Square Enix's strategy to showcase its properties across diverse media. Developed by a team named Warhead, which included key members from Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, the game received positive reviews for its graphics and art direction. The gameplay of Code Age Commanders involves completing missions where players battle coded enemies to reach specific map areas, occasionally confronting bosses. The game employs a system where the player controls one character with computer-controlled allies who must survive for mission success. The narrative unfolds through optional cutscenes revealing the memories of defeated enemies. Code Age Commanders achieved a robust debut in Japan, selling 37,000 units in its first week and exceeding 61,000 copies by the end of 2005. Later, Siliconera reported overall low sales in Japan, attributing to the absence of a North American release to this lukewarm reception. So those were some amazing PS2 games that you couldn't play. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe, then check out my videos on Japan-only PS1 games now. See you soon.